Hey Internet, it's me. Now I should start off by saying that while I'm sure you're all aware I'm a huge fan of video games and horror movies, there are other things in life that I am passionate about. A lot of them, in fact. I guess I'm just a very passionate guy, ladies. But no, I am also a big fan of just like fairy tales and folklore and those kinds of things. I don't know, they're just always interesting to me. And one in particular that I love is Alice in Wonderland. Aside from being basically the original isekai, it's just a cool story with really fun characters. You know, I like the idea of this girl who, was always wishing that the world was more whimsical and nonsensical. You know, she's stuck with all these rigid rules and strict parents and this structure that she just wants to rebel against. And then she gets her wish, and she's, drawn into this land where everything is absolute nonsense. Everything is what it shouldn't be, and the only expected thing she can find is that nothing is what she expects. It's just a fun story in an inventive world, and I don't know, I always really enjoyed it. I really love it. Every take on it is great. The American McGee games, if you're not familiar, I know it's the same game, but one's the promo copy, and I just wanted to show that off. I like how this had like a dark, twisted take on it, whereas, you have the traditional, like the Disney version where everything's a little more friendly, although this is a bad representation of that. This is the Tim Burton version, which was a little wacky. Hell, I have the point-and-click adventure, which is also kind of nightmare fuel if you see some of the imagery of it. I also have, basically every iteration of this in books or movies. I have all the Xenostoke comics. I'm a big fan of the story. And so, another thing I should mention that I'm a big fan of is amusements. Not just video games and, like, arcade machines, but all the other arcade fodder that you would see. I absolutely love coin pushers. I don't have one yet to show you, but I fell in love with those at a fair when I was a child. I just thought they were so cool. I like the physics of them. I don't know, they're just very interesting to me. I love skee-ball and slot machines and just all the different prize machines and claw machines, everything that you would find in an arcade or on a fairway at like a carnival or a fair, I love those. They're just very entertaining and fun to me. And oddly, the one thing I never really got into when I was younger was pinball. For whatever reason, I wasn't exposed to them super frequently, and when I did have an opportunity to play on one, it was just fine. I never understood the strategy behind them or the timing or the different things you had to take into consideration. I know now as an adult that they are skill-based. I've seen the court case. I know it's not random chance and luck. But for the longest time, they just didn't really appeal to me that much. Like, they were fine. If one was there, I would play on it. But it just, I don't know, it didn't call to me. And then last year, a buddy of mine who does love pinball and always wanted a machine of his own. And I decided that for Christmas, I was going to surprise him and get him an arcade machine. I'll put a picture in here. I got him this really gorgeous Paragon machine, which I realized after the fact is like highly sought after. It's a big deal. The art is great. People love the mechanics and the game itself of the machine. And then, I was helping him fix it up a bit. I learned a bit more about them. We played on it a ton. And I started to fall in love with pinball machines. The more we tinkered with it, the more I was really interested by the mechanics of it. And then the more we played it, the more I'm like, wow, this is really fun. I like trying to figure out where on the paddle the ball should be if you want to launch it to a specific place. And, I like just trying to go for the high score and seeing what the different mini games or strategies in each table are to try and get the most points. It just, I don't know. It became more fun, more strategic, more interesting, more engaging. And I found myself really wanting one. And now, to bring all that together, I bought a pinball machine, and I'm going to show you. So this is my pinball machine. Like I said, This ties back to what I was saying about Alice in Wonderland because it is, obviously, Alice in Wonderland themed. You can see the Cheshire Cat and his eyes that move around. You can see the risque artwork and the quote right here in the metal rail. And yeah, this is probably the coolest thing I own right now. Man, I don't even know what to say. I really love this thing. Aside from the art, which is incredible, I like the interpretations of the March Hare and the Jabberwocky and the Cheshire Cat and everything that are on here. But also just the gameplay is a lot of fun. Now, I unfortunately have found, I guess a little digression here, Reddit is sometimes a terrible place. For example, if you go on the game collecting subreddit, people there will give you so much crap if you own a sealed copy of anything, because for whatever reason they're anti-sealed games existing. And I've learned that the pinball community on Reddit is also just a terrible, toxic place. Quiet, I'm talking. Will you stop? But yeah, they're just, I don't know, they're very snobbish about what games you should or should not enjoy. And they've decided for whatever reason that this is one you are not allowed to enjoy. But I think it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of mini games and different modes in here that you have to unlock to try and beat. And then when you beat them all, you get to face off against the Queen of Hearts. It's very involved. There's a lot of moving parts and magnets and cool effects, and you can turn on multi-ball, so you're juggling, you know, multiple pinballs at the same time, trying to keep them all on the play fields. It's just, man, I love it. It is a lot of fun. I really enjoy this machine. There's a lot of intricate little art details. I'll make sure to get close-up so I can put them here. But, you know, there's a sculpted Jabberwocky that actually moves every so often. There's lights everywhere. There's tiny little sculptures of the Cheshire Cat and have different like mushrooms, just effects that you would find throughout Wonderland. You know, there's the little playing card guards, the flamingos, a pocket watch obviously, which has a small LCD screen in it. Yeah, I don't know. For all the hate this machine is getting, I think is a blast. I have been having a lot of fun on it. I think the music is incredible. I think the lights and the art are all amazing. It's just so fun to look at. I love that they have their mirrors on the side, and again, I'll get close-ups on all of this so you can, it'll be on the screen, you can see. But there are mirrors on the side of the playfield that just kind of, you know, reflect the playfield back to itself, but it makes it feel wider. Like when you're standing in front of the machine, looking down into it, which is the mirrors and the artwork on the side means there's no just blank space. And so everything feels bigger and deeper and just, it feels like there's more than there is. And that's not to say there's not a lot here. It's just a very creative way of making it feel even bigger than it actually is. It has an upper play field, which a lot of modern machines are starting to do now. But, you know, when you get up there, instead of flippers, the whole thing is activated on magnets. Music. And those magnets are how you move the ball around on the upper play field and try to keep it in play. Yeah, I guess I just wanted to make this video to say I really love this machine. If you're someone out there that wants to get into pinball and has just so much expendable income, you should definitely look this up. They were a limited thing, as is a lot of the stuff that I buy. They only made 500 of these, and only 300 came to the US. So you'll have to get one secondhand. I'm pretty sure they're all sold out from the manufacturer, which is DPX, by the way, Dutch Pinball. I think the X is Experience. I don't really know. But you can find them. There's already people on Pinside and some of the other pinball forums that have them listed for sale, so you can get one secondhand. But yeah, it's just an incredible machine. It is a lot of fun. All the people saying otherwise are honestly just wrong. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing else to say. I just wanted to show off that I am a responsible adult with adult money who does responsible things with said adult money. And I certainly would never impulse buy an entire ass pinball machine, because that would be ridiculous.